Welcome. I have Dustin and Birdie here. Thank you so much for being my episode of our podcast called Success and Connection. So exciting because we are here in a place that is actually define what we're talking about, right? Success and connection. So all of us, we are here for a reason, right? And what happened? We have a common thing, like you have the owners club, right? So everything because of Pace Morby. We are here. And I heard a lot of success of people where they were before and after Pace. And it's crazy. It's not 10x, it's like 100x, right? It's amazing. So yeah, I'm here. I'd like to ask you guys, what is success and connection for you first, Birdie?
I like this question. So I feel like I've lived a few chapters in my life, or at least a couple. Maybe this is chapter 3. So I think every chapter has had a different definition of success for me. And I definitely feel like I'm on the beginning of my next chapter right now. And so my definition of success, I think, is just every day moving towards that vision and that goal that I have for myself. Not only in business, in the things that I'm working on with our creative community and the things that I'm aiming for professionally, but especially in my family life. Kids are all I'm almost an empty nester. So seeing my children go out into the world, learn life lessons, come back, have to adjust and pivot, and then go back out into the world, and being just a pillar for them and helping to guide them, but not hanging on so tightly that they can't experience life and learn those lessons. So success for me in that is just knowing how to measure my involvement and being able to pivot with different demands on my life, in my marriage as well. So we're sort of both coming into this empty nester phase where we're like, oh, okay, I can start working on these like dream projects of mine and being aligned with my husband in a lot of ways and working through the stuff. Like we've been married 25 years. And so I think that in and of itself is success.
Absolutely.
And so I think that definition changes, but I'm really excited to see myself reach and attain a new level of success right now. And connection is a big piece of that. So I think I'm able to be more myself when I'm happy with my movement forward. And that enables me to connect better with people. When you're authentic and you are vulnerable and you are able to, what was that last night we learned, being relatable to people. I think that's really important, and that it's very fulfilling. So that's my long-winded explanation.
Okay. What about for you, my friend?
Yeah, that's great. I think I am very similar to Birdie in our definition of success. I also would say that I've lived a few different chapters in life, a successful W-2 career in medicine that I would say, with my schooling and the jobs that I've had and the things that I've been able to do, positions that I've held, things like that, I would call that a success. And now transitioning sort of towards other lines of success, things that I want to do. And so I think in a similar fashion to what she said, success to me is very much about living a life daily that is authentic to who you are and what you want to accomplish overall. And if you are daily progressing or making steps or making some sort of progress towards those goals that you have, even though that goal may be years down the road, I think if you're making some steps and some progress towards that and aligning yourself and lining up your life to be able to put you in that trajectory, then I think you're living a pretty successful life daily. So
I love that. Yeah. So cool. Connection?
Oh, connections are key. I think if you're going to be successful, you can't do it without the right connections. I don't think anybody fully gets where they want to be alone. We hear Pace say it all the time. He's never made another dollar, or he's never made a dollar in life without another person. And I think that's right for all of us, right? I don't think that you can reach a level of success. I don't think you can reach your goals. I don't think you can reach a level to where you're going to be able to affect and have a positive impact on other people without the right connections. There's always a who that's going to help you get where you want to be. And especially if you want to get there expeditiously and do it as quickly and as efficiently as possible and have the best systems and all of that kind of stuff. It's too overwhelming for one person to do. If you want to affect a change in this world, you have to do it with other people and you need those connections. So,
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And I love that. So connection is everything, right?
yes.
Since the day you're born, you already have the connection right there. So why some people try to do by themselves?
Yeah.
Just to figure out that doesn't work. So the sooner you figure out that you need connection, the sooner you're going to be more successful.
Right.
And joining masterminds, communities, that's the best way to catapult your success, right? I love that. So tell me something, real estate. Both of you, actually 3 of us, we are in real estate. Why real estate? What made you to come to the world of real estate, Birdie?
So for me, I came at it from a different lens as a designer. So I was an actress for 30 years. And when I was living in Los Angeles, the unfortunate side of being an actress is you're not always working. And I have a lot of creative visions and ideas and energy. So I built a design company, and word of mouth became very busy with that. And so through that process, obviously did some fix and flips and things like that. And it was to make money, but it wasn't my primary focus. That was more like, oh, we'll make some extra money on the side. And it ended up being what it was. My main focus being acting and then design. And also I had 3 children and, married, and so very busy. But at this stage, I realized I've closed the chapter of the acting world, which I was very pleased and thrilled with, taking that design and saying, how can I do that business and help and use my creative energy and also help others, not just with the primary residents, but how can I help in the world? And I landed in this amazing community, and we're an owners club. And I thought, there's loads of people here that do fix and flips, that do hotel conversions, that do multifamily value add or business building. And it's the perfect audience because a lot of people are spreadsheet driven and miss the opportunity to make an impact with the senses. And when you impact people's sensory experience, they behave differently. So that is my job, is to make sure when someone enters a space, whether it's conscious or subconscious, they're going to feel a certain way about it, and that is going to drive their behavior. And so I really very excited and very passionate about that little piece of real estate that is often missed in the investor world, because everyone's focused on the numbers, the underwriting, the spreadsheet, the spread, how to structure the deal. And there's this little thing standing over here, this beautiful creative hug that needs to be placed in all of that. And so for me, that's why real estate. It's just an extension of something that is a part of me that I want to pour into what others are doing.
Perfect. It's very interesting that we are drawn to what we are passionate about, right? And if you can make money along the way, even better, right? What do you say, senses, right? So when I was buying properties and 20 years ago, I started buying properties. And that's when buy the property, just do what he said, minimal and done, try to sell. And then I tried for 2-3 weeks, nothing happened. I said, okay, let's do what I have to do. Just put some touch, some paintings on the wall, some curtains on the bathroom, some flowers, like this. Sells. It's emotion. People buy because they feel something about it, right?
That's right.
I love that. And what you do is so incredible. And I wish that everybody would use that because their life would be so much easier. The property is not going to stay in the market as long as
Right.
it to be.
It's surprising. I think a lot of people don't, they think they overthink it. And so they see what, my fee, and they think, oh, we can't add that to the spreadsheet because that'll like tip the boat. And honestly, what I do doesn't have to tip the boat. What I do actually may set your sale even higher, right? So it's a mindset thing. It's the same idea with mentorships, right? So it costs money. You invest in your education. You invest in the room. You invest in your Rolodex, right? If you didn't do that, how long would it take you to get to where you could get in 1 year in this community, right? It could take a decade. So it's the same thing. Would you spend $7,000 to make $20,000 at the end? But people just are stuck on the risk. But there's no greater investment than to invest in yourself. And when you invest in your property, you have to trust that money is being spent the best way. So the lenders will also be more inclined to like the fact that you're carving out a little bit of money to have some direction, because time is money. So if you're stuck on a decision and it takes you like 10 days to make a decision, we could have made that decision in 10 hours, right? It's the same acceleration as being in a mentorship.
Absolutely. I love that. And you talk about mentorship. I think would be amazing. I'm not sure if you're doing that yet, but if you could educate us, start with us in the community, how to bring your property to stand out and sell faster. So maybe they need to get that education to change their mindset.
Yes.
I think it would be beneficial for the community. So if you're not doing it,
yes, I have not done it yet, but I did do a round table at Squad Up, which we had some round tables there, and that was really lovely. And yes, that is something that's definitely would be beneficial. I think that's a great idea.
waiting for.
Okay.
Thank you. What about you, Dustin?
Well, I love that Birdie's bringing the human element into these flips and things like that, because a lot of times it's all about the numbers and it's all about churn, and how fast can you move and everything else. And, Marcus Lemonis was talking to us yesterday and he said something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, but people are everything. If you are not comfortable keeping people in the forefront of business, you have no business being in business. And when we forget that people, especially end buyers for flips and other properties and things that we're fixing up, buy largely off of emotion and what they can feel when they walk into a space and how it makes them feel. We get caught up in the numbers and the what colors do we have in stock that we can just throw into every property.
Yeah.
And we forget that not every person is the same and that they want to have an emotional attachment when they walk into a property. And I think that's what's so great about what Birdie is doing. And at the end of the day, not only are you going to get the price that you're asking for, but you're going to close it faster. And really it ends up being a huge return rather than a cost at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's wonderful what she's doing.
Okay. Awesome. But thank you so much. Fantastic. What you do is amazing. But tell me about you.
Yeah.
Why real estate?
Why real estate? Well, from a young age, my dad told me about some land that he had bought, and it really piqued my interest. And then I bought a property, and when I moved out of state to go to school, put renters in there. And I learned pretty quickly that it's great having somebody else pay your mortgage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the appreciation was fun. The loan pay down was fun. It was all really, really eye-opening. And I live in Utah. And in Utah, I live in a valley. And I have a lake on one side and I have mountains on the other side. And they are not making any more land,
That's true.
And we are building out. And I think it became pretty clear to me that people are always going to need a place to live. And that land and housing is, finite. There's only so much that you can develop. And so I thought it was a good investment. And initially it was that's what it was. It was an investment. It was a retirement for me. But that didn't fully sit well with me. I went into medicine because I like to make a difference in people's lives and I like to help. And it really wasn't until I joined the right rooms where I started thinking about how can you make a difference in owning real estate in addition to it being a retirement and some additional income for me personally. And that's where my mindset really shifted. And I came to the conclusion that it's not just about owning the real estate. It's about how can you help people while you're owning the real estate? How can we provide affordable housing for people? Right now, I partner with a company that houses disabled adults. And there's a real need for that and not a lot of property for that. And one of the benefits is they're limited on how much they can pay because their clients are on Medicare and Medicaid. But the way I purchase creatively and the fact that I have a W-2 that supplements my incomes means I don't have to live off the cash flow. I can play the long game on my returns and bank on appreciation and loan pay down while giving them something affordable because I don't have to be cash flowing $1,500 a month off of that property. I have income. And so it allows me to provide housing for people that need it without having to fully take care of myself through that property. And it's brought a better purpose to owning real estate for me than just owning property.
I love that. I love that, Justin, because care about others, right?
Yes.
And oh my gosh, makes so much more fulfillment, get that feeling than the money that you make, right? Because I think without fulfillment, what is life, right? Yeah. So I love it because I never enter in the real estate world to make money.
Right.
I want to help first.
Yes.
As a collateral, we get paid, right? And that's what we do. We still have to live and take care of our families, right?
Sure.
But I really love it. So, okay, so you focus on Utah, and where do you focus?
So I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. That's where I live. So that's our market, and Savannah, Georgia. So we basically all of South Carolina and within about 30 minutes of any of the major metro areas there, and then Savannah, Georgia market.
Great. I love Georgia. I lived there for 9 years.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
My children grew up there. Okay, so tell me, what's your segment in real estate?
So we do. I am doing the design consultations. So that's sort of my active income. Mm-hmm. I'm building the first full sensory immersion design studio. So I'm actually building what we were just discussing about inspiring through the senses, inspiring behavior for faster buy-in, and that's a business-to-business model, but I'm building that out. And then my husband and I do fix and flips. We do buy and hold, and we've just gotten into some land acquisitions, and we're really interested in developing some of it for more affordable scenarios, and especially within the urban centers, because those are like Charleston, for instance, is big in hospitality and tourism. And it's a very expensive city to live in. And the people who work there can't live there. And that is happening everywhere across the country in bigger cities. And the problem is we want the young blood, the youth, the energy of those who service those resources to be able to live where they work. And they want that. They don't want to live far away because eventually that gets very tiresome. It's hard on their families. And then they end up leaving the city and going and just working where they live because the quality of life matters, right? So we are trying to do some infill development inside, within the city of Charleston and as well as some other places. But that's a big focus for us, is trying to find that sweet spot, because it's hard as investors too, because you do need to at least break even, and you could play the long game, but you have to be careful not to over leverage your own life. Yeah, you can't help anyone unless you are profitable. Like if you're not profitable and your ship is sinking, you can't, they say put the mask on yourself before you help, before you put the mask on someone else. So that's the same with investing, right? We all know this as investors. We have to take care of our needs and necessities to help others, to be able to help others. And the more money you make, the more you can actually help.
Exactly.
So
I love what you're saying, because when we grew up, I always was searching for ways to be successful. Mm-hmm. And people around us, why you work so hard? Why you want so much money? And I didn't know the answer. for the beginning, right?
Yeah.
But then I start to figure out, the more money I have, the more people I can help. And that's it. Okay, now I understand why. And the reason is, it would be too easy. Just go ahead and buy a property with the agent and sell at margin and make money. That's it. But you have to go a long way and help people, right? It's harder and takes more time.
Yeah.
But again, it's about the fulfillment. Make money. For some people, they can do that. It's
Right.
good for them. But without fulfillment, without being able to helping others, it's just like doesn't worth living.
Right.
That's the way I feel.
Right.
So, Birdie,
So that's my market.
yeah, that's right. So tell me, what's your Mount Everest? So actually, describe Mount Everest first.
Oh, so my Mount Everest, well, I actually say this. I am climbing my Mount Lhotse, which is the mountain next to Mount Everest, which I learned from my friend Rachel Davis, who actually wrote a book about Mount Everest and was just published. So I'm climbing Mount Lhotse, which is the mountain next to my Mount Everest is big thing that I'm not ready to climb yet. I've decided I'm training to climb that one. But my Mount Lhotse is that I am, like I mentioned, I'm building the first consumer-facing full sensory immersion design studio, which is essentially a place where you as an architect, developer, designer, hotelier can bring your clients into a space that you have done the drawings on, you've done different renderings on the different spaces, and there needs to be buy-in, and you need to move forward with the project. And what we have discovered and what I have discovered in my field is that unless people can feel what they're looking at, they spin in their brain. They can't make up their mind. Even if you say, well, I'm a visual person. Okay, well, if you look at a drawing, an architectural drawing, it's precise, but it's very cold. If you look at a rendering, it's beautiful, and you might think it's beautiful, but you still don't know how you are going to feel in that kitchen when you step into it at 6 a.m. And people use the word, I want my home, or I want my office, or I want my hotel to feel like, and then they fill in the blank. Yeah. And as a designer, that's what you hear on a daily basis. And architects hear it, developers hear it. I want this neighborhood to feel like The Notebook, the movie. I want it to feel like, so we use the word feel a lot. And for whatever reason, at this point in time in humankind, we have all of the resources for me to be able to bring this to the market and to be able to put all of the software that already exists and all of the hardware that exists and marry those and create a brick and mortar tool for these small firms in major cities to come into and as a membership model and step into the space and look up and see the lighting and look down and see the flooring and smell the signature scent or the garlic bread or the whatever and hear the jazz music and to have real-time elemental, finish changes in front of you so and also to have sensitive lighting. So if you're in Atlanta, the lighting is very different than it is in Salt Lake City. And so to step into a space and know that the lighting is exactly how it will be in the summer in Atlanta, it just leads to people, your lights go off in your body, right? They turn on and you go from concept to full knowing. And that shrinks buy-in time. And it also shrinks change orders. So my goal is to bring something to the market that does not exist. I can't unsee the gap. And it affects every small to medium architecture and development firm in the world. It affects all of us because it just takes months for people to understand and the changes and you come back to the table, come back to the table, come back to the table. Decisiveness comes from someone feeling something. And so I'm building that and bringing that to the market.
Birdie, while you're describing that, I was already there.
Yeah.
I was imagining the room, the smell and the touch. So you're not a designer. You're a sensorial expert.
Sure.
That's what you have to...
I have a lot of feelings. sensorial expert. I love.
Love that.
Exactly. And also because you're actress,
Yes.
right? You know how to tell this story. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. I love that. So listen,
Thank you.
I need to hear and see your course or episode teaching the sensorial.
Yes. Well, I have a YouTube channel that I'm starting that will be my journey that everyone will get to watch, because how do you build a sensory immersion studio without sharing it with the world, right? People like to see those journeys. And so, yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Thank you.
So, hey, but the end of this episode, you're going to sing for us, okay? So,
Oh, no,
ready.
not really.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
Let me go to Dustin while you think about how you're going to sing. Look, you have the mic, you have the cameras, you have the audience. Why not? Have fun, right? So, what about you? Tell me, what's your Mount Everest?
I'm not going to sing, so
Oh, no, okay. It's okay. You have a good voice, would be good too, but it's okay.
no. My Mount Everest is my overall Mount Everest is I want to be able to leave working at a hospital full time and start a nonprofit group that focuses on international humanitarian work and disaster relief, medical humanitarian work.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that so much.
To do that, though, you've got to get there, right? You need that active income, or, some would say real estate. Some call real estate passive income. It's not really passive. You're doing a lot of work to get passive income. But I need that income coming in that will allow me to do that. And so, like I mentioned before, I'm partnering with a group that houses disabled adults right now, finding housing for them, starting to do some fix and flips now that, the market, everything was kind of a little bit crazy during the COVID years, and things have settled back down. There's a lot of fix and flips going on now. So I'm starting to do about one a quarter of those to get a little bit of active income coming in. And then the other thing that I'm really looking to do right now is to buy businesses. Number one, because I want service-based businesses that go along with real estate that can contribute to the property and the real estate that I own. But I also want to provide recession-resistant jobs for people. I think there's a real need for that. And you want jobs in the service industry that, if something goes wrong with your plumbing, it doesn't matter what the economy is doing. You need to have that fixed. And so I want to be able to provide a service that's going to be there for people, but also a job that's going to take care of somebody and their family that isn't going away during the tough times,
That's right.
So that kind of scales vertically for me as far as I can use it in my real estate holdings, but it also helps get me to my Mount Everest with active income, and it helps other people at the same time. So that combination is very important to me. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on right now.
I love it. And you your glow when you talk about, so it's your passions.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see, I bet you can see already done, right?
I can see it done. I have the vision in my mind. I just, you just got to take the steps each day to get there. You got to find the right people to work with. You got to find the right funding. You got to find the right business. So yeah, it's a process, but I can definitely see the vision of where it's going.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
And guys, I learned that we have a vision and you have a project, something that you want to do. And what Pace puts on the Mount Everest, right? What is Mount Everest? What scares you the most? And that's going to take you to the place that you said, that's it. I'm done. I did what I came in this life to do, right? So that's the definition of Mount Everest. And I learned that if you just put in words, write that down, that comes so much faster than you stay in your mind and think, this is what I want to do sometime in the future. Guess what? Sometime in the future, it will never be here.
Yeah. There's something to be said for manifesting and letting people know what you're doing. Closed mouths don't get fed. And when you put something out to the universe, it's incredible the way things will be returned to you. That one would say miracles, one would say luck, one would say manifestation, whatever you want to call it. When you put it out, it is incredible to see how things come back and you get exactly what you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
So yeah, and so when Pace tells us to do something, so he wants you to do it. So he gives something like have a 1-1 with me, you have to have this done. And then he said, who doesn't want to have a 1-1 with pace, right? So, oh my gosh, it's so hard and it's so big. But then when you really want that thing, so you go ahead and do it. So, and I bet all of us, we procrastinate. It's too many moving parts, right? Because something that we never did is scary for us. We have that vision, but then you think, okay, I have that vision, but now put it in paper and say that I'm going to do now for the next 5 years. Oh my gosh, I better do, right? So, and that's exactly what happens. So you put in paper and, when you put yourself out there, for example, I was procrastinating to give him the homework. And then I said, okay, it was 3:00 in the afternoon. I texted him, I'm going to have my Mount Everest ready today. And that's it. And I said, oh my gosh, now I have to do it. Yeah. So with that, 9:00, I sent everything. What a relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
So you have to trick yourself, right?
When you think about climbing mountains, I live in a mountainous state and I've climbed a lot of mountains. I love hiking. I love climbing mountains. And when you think about Everest or any mountain that you're climbing, it can seem very daunting, especially something like Everest. I haven't been to Everest, but I've been to some pretty large mountains. And when you're driving up, they look huge. The closer you get to that mountain, the bigger it becomes. And then you stand at the beginning of that trail and it looks huge. And then you take the first step and you start walking. And as you get closer to the base of the mountain, it gets even bigger. But as you take one step at a time, step by step by step by step, eventually you're halfway up the mountain and you look back and you're like, I didn't realize I was that far up. I didn't realize I was this high. And it becomes more doable, more manageable. Not easier, but you can see the progress that you've made. But initially when you're starting, it looks overwhelming. But you have to put one foot in front of the other, take one step at a time, and before you know it, you've made more progress than you ever thought you could.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And there's one thing that we don't do, we should do more often, is realize our accomplishments. And, acknowledge and write it down because you forget. So if don't keep in your mind. So I'm telling you guys this because I'm telling myself, right? Because you teach what you want to learn, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So, I love it. So it's not a time for that
no, we're
beautiful
no
singing.
today. No
Come
singing,
on, you
no
know how to do that.
No,
Look, in your, let me tell you this. Look, you put on your profile, you said, ask me when I sung the
national anthem?
national anthem.
Oh, I did?
So I'm asking now.
Oh, you're asking me when?
No. So ask me about me.
Oh, I did sing. I sang at some professional sporting events.
Let's do it.
Oh, gosh. You're going to ask me to sing the national anthem?
Yeah.
How about if I just sing a little piece of another
Just a little
song?
piece is perfect. Yes.
Not of the national anthem.
Oh,
You want me to sing?
No. Whatever you want. No.
Okay.
Whatever
I'll
you want.
sing. Let's see. I'm not warmed up, so this is going to be okay.
It's okay.
Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Skies are blue. Is that the right words? And the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. You're professional. Wow.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the stage.
on the spot.
So let's get to the stage. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for this, for coming to this episode and giving me this beautiful interview. It's so amazing to be around you guys and everybody in the community. It's so exciting being here in Monterey and doing this seminar with friends, right? And make connections and build success. I love it. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, thank you for having us. This is lovely.
Okay, so you're an amazing singer. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you for having us. It was a lot of fun.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.